And still on that debate, the Kenya Veterinary Association is asking the government to suspend its planned livestock vaccination program set to begin next year, citing opposition from Kenyans. The association claims it was not consulted and is demanding transparency on the diseases being targeted, the rationale behind the vaccination, and the identity of the program's sponsors. Additionally, veterinary doctors are calling on the government to avoid using harsh rhetoric to force public acceptance of the vaccination. Willie Lusige reports.
Vocal opposition to the government's plan to vaccinate livestock starting January next year, the Kenya Veterinary Association has openly criticized the program, arguing that they were not consulted during its development.
We have not had any stakeholder engagement from conception of this program that you can term as adequate. So even as a Kenya Veterinary Association, we have only been, our opinion has only been sought after the program has received controversy from the public. So we were not involved in the conception of the idea. We haven't been involved along the way.
The association, through the chairperson, Dr. Kelvin Osore, insists that several critical questions remain unanswered. Kenyans deserve to know which disease the vaccination targets, how long the program will run, and who is funding it.
So the program has a lot of misinformation. We've tried to get a lot of information from the government to clear the air. But even as a Kenya Veterinary Association, we are not so clear on the way forward. We don't know how long the vaccination exercise will run, for example.
The association further argues that some of the diseases identified by the government are localized and do not justify a nationwide vaccination campaign.
A vaccination exercise needs to be tailored to specific regions. For example, you cannot vaccinate against foot and mouth disease in the whole country. There are areas in this country where FMD is not such a challenge. So why would you go and waste resources there? So the vaccination exercise needs to be tailored to the areas where diseases are endemic to.
They are now calling for the suspension of the program and asking the government to prioritize addressing other pressing issues affecting livestock sector before allocating billions of shillings to the vaccination initiative.
These vaccines being used to control greenhouse gas emissions in cattle. As an association, we are not sure about the veracity of those claims because that technology is still at a very early stage. I don't think the government has the capacity to actually have that technology now. But it is critical also for government officials not to lecture Kenyans. These cows belong to Kenyans. They are the ones who are going to bring them to you for vaccination, and it's important not to lecture them. Talk to them like adults, explain the benefits of the program, listen to their concerns and explain their concerns. Remember that Kenyans didn't just wake up and mistrust the government.
The government plans to vaccinate approximately 22 million cattle alongside 50 million goats, sheep and small livestock next year. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.